can give a burnout, and this has to do with the planning, is bored to death with the diet.
Oh,
So
yes.
if you have those few little things and you keep, well, those are safe, or your child likes those, and you do the same
Uh-huh.
thing
It's the
over
same thing over and
and
over
over and
again.
over again, like that's going to burn anybody out. I, I
Right.
like taking time sometimes. So you have your regular stores that you go to, and we all do this, whether we have diets or not. We tend to buy the same
Exactly.
things. But then, of
Hmm.
course, if you don't have food restrictions when you go to a restaurant, or if you go to a party, you can eat whatever. But when I go to a restaurant, I know this restaurant has three things I can eat. Or you go to a party and there's a whole
Yeah.
buffet and you can eat the carrots and celery sticks. But
Hmm.
for parents and kids, and get the kids involved as young as possible, I always had my kids shopping with me. Sometimes go to
Right.
the store when it's not a buy groceries errand, when it's an investigating errand,
Oh,
and
that's a
take
great
plenty of
idea.
time. Especially, I'm thinking of something like Whole Foods or your health food store that's going to have more
Hmm.
options.
Right.
Because at our house, we have, there's five of us. So we have three that are allergic to dairy and two with no
Okay.
gluten. And then mine, I have a big long list of things that I can't have. But to take time and go through, see some new products, look at the
Right.
labels,
Yeah. When you're
pick some
not in a
things,
rush and
and
you
you're
don't
not in
have
a
this
rush.
huge amount of stuff you have to get. That's an awesome
And
idea.
then for your kids, make a really long list and then give them a choice. And that is what's so great about it. If they come to you, or
Mhm.
even if they don't, because now you can snap a picture with your camera, take it
Oh, yeah.
home and say, here are three cereals that you haven't tried. Would you like to try one of these cereals? Here's a different bread.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh. Yeah. Variety is, I mean, it's just amazing how much food is out there that we don't even, just even in the produce section. You stick
yeah.
to, your normals
Hmm.
and you don't really explore a lot because maybe you don't even have a recipe that uses that
That
food.
uses
But it,
that. Yes.
right.
And that's
Hmm.
another time. Cookbooks too are really helpful. But exploring, taking time to plan. I have some cookbooks here if you don't mind. Do you mind me showing some of the
Oh,
cookbooks I
yeah,
have?
that'd be great.
Okay. Um, now, the autoimmune paleo is, now I
Hmm.
have such food allergies, I can't be strictly on just one diet. So I'm not, oh, I'm autoimmune paleo, or, oh, I'm
Hmm.
GAPS diet or whatever. But now this is a really thick book and it explains a lot, and she makes a lot of homemade stuff. After looking at this book, I'm thinking this is a part-time job if you do this diet.
Right.
Whoever's doing it, congratulations. But my goal for cookbooks is to, find a few things in it, do some new things, find a few things that I haven't done before. And so I definitely found that in this book.
That's great.
The
Yeah.
desserts in this book,
Oh.
and I had spent a lot of money on a couple of ingredients to make some of the desserts. And before I was diagnosed with celiac disease, baking was my hobby. I baked all the
Oh,
time.
wow.
So, all I'm saying is I know how to bake, and I was like, this isn't working at
This
all.
is this is not what it's
But
supposed to
there
look
are
like.
some things. And so, and the pictures are beautiful. And so again, it helps you with burnout and being tired of it. And one of
Mm,
the things that I do is, I once read that we typically only eat the same 10 meals over and over. And when I first thought that, I thought, oh, that's ridiculous. We eat way more than 10 meals. But then when I started thinking about it, I sat down, I thought, you know what? We do tend to eat the same 10 things over and over.
mm.
So what I do is I make a menu for each season. So I
Oh,
have
that's
a
a great
spring,
idea.
fall, winter, summer menu. And of
Mhm.
course, the ones in the winter are going to have the heavier foods, soups,
Right.
and
Mhm.
then the summer salads, etc. But that switches it up. But even just having those 10
Mhm.
things when you get ready to make your grocery list, it just helps you
Yeah.
to the go to. And I
Mhm.
asked my family, I tested them, did they want us to eat more than like those 10 things on a regular basis? But no, they were actually very happy, and they like
Hmm.
less variety than I do. So that's another thing. Communicate. You might be going to the store to find them new cereal or new crackers, and they're like, "We
And they don't
you know
want
what I want."
anything new.
So that again is going to depend on the. So that's the
Right.
autoimmune paleo, and then I have a grain-free gourmet. And you
Mm.
guys can find a lot of different ones online. I figure it's worth my money if I find a few. Everyone kind of has their own way to make pizza and their own way to make desserts.
Mm. Mhm.
This is almond flour, is what they use.
Okay.
Now, I laugh at baking with almond flour because I don't care what you call it. It all is pretty much made the same way and it all kind of turns out tasting
Kind
the
of turn
same.
it's flat and hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and
Exactly.
I've made some recipes that aren't hard, and I like to make little round biscuits, I call them, but they're not. And flat,
Mhm.
and then that way you can toast them. So you can toast them for
Ah,
breakfast and put a sausage egg with it, or you can put sun
mhm.
butter on it because, of course, I'm allergic to peanut butter. Now, here's one that
Right.
has a lot of grains. This is the Whole Life Nutrition Cookbook.
Hmm.
And I bought it years ago before I realized how many food allergies I had, but it's a very healthy gluten free because, as we were talking earlier, that
Oh,
a lot of the gluten free foods are very empty in nutrients.
they are.
And
Yes.
you
Read
really
your
can't,
labels. Because even though if it says gluten-free or other free, what they put in there is not diet
it's
worthy.
not good.
Yeah.
It is terrible. And the taste of it is better, but oh, it's so junky. So,
Mhm.
but this one isn't. This is some good whole food nutrition that's gluten free, and it has the best cookie recipe in it for Christmas cookies, like
Ah.
gingerbread cookies.